Fox 4's Shaun Rabb has, over the past several weeks, been talking to many different voices about our society that is shifting, our shifting society. From police reform to systemic racism, from protesters to police. Tonight, Black Republicans add their voice to those of the past several weeks. Here and now is their conversation with Shaun Rabb.
And I'm visiting now with Chaplain Rich Stoglin and Taft Thompson, two African-American men who are part of the Republican Party. Stoglin in Tarrant County, Thompson in Dallas County. What do you all say about the cries for police reform? Do we need it?
I believe that we do need police reform. However, with the oversight through the community boards that they're trying to initiate, I'm not really in complete agreement with that. However, I do know that police reform is needed, and just like anything, the majority of our cops are wonderful, active citizens.
It's easy, Mr. Rabb, for people, I've heard echoes and echoes of police reform and all law enforcement. I've dealt with law enforcement. I retired, as you well know, from a Justice Department, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, and in uniformed services serving our great nation. It's great to say police reform. Most law enforcement people that I know say reform. No more climbing trees to get cats out. No more babysitting. No more mental health paraprofessionalism. And yes, they all agree with that. And we need professionally trained law enforcement personnel. But what about citizen reform? What is the role of the citizen? We don't have citizenship classes anymore. We don't have, what does that mean? And so it has to work both ways. Yes, we do have some terrible people in law enforcement. You have terrible people in law and judicial bench and so forth. But that doesn't mean every lawyer, every judge, every engineer, et cetera, are bad. You have to have protocols put in place to prevent those people from being perpetuated, being hired, being promoted, and so forth.
You talk about the protocols, Chaplain Stoglin, that you feel ought to be in place. Taft Thompson, what do you think should happen
In regards
as we talk about this idea of reforming police?
Resolution will come through the legal system. It will come through the courts. And I'm for free protest like anybody else. However, destroying property, disrespecting the rights of other people, and doing things that are a disservice to not only your community, but also to our country, I am not in favor of.
This idea of racism and discrimination and being on the outside, is that your experience?
Yes, I have experienced racism. I've been racially profiled. I've been discriminated against regarding my abilities to be able to do a job based on innate feelings of people. And so it's not a comfortable feeling. We need to recognize it. We need to be able to come together, have a civil conversation regarding it. But I think the most important thing is the fact that we need to let our, especially Blacks, allow our feelings to be told and to be accepted and recognize that it is a problem.
How do we come to some resolution?
If I may, economics. So it's economics, opportunities to have Mr. Thompson, people like yourself and myself, to understand, to be at the table with the understanding if we have opportunity to have access to that. It's economics, because and finally, for every political question, there's an economic answer.
But if we do come together, sir, we need to be able to have a constructive and informative session on what we want to accomplish. To include community leaders, need to include law enforcement, politicians. We need to include schools. It has to be a community-based forum, and we have to be frank and honest and be able to not just have one or two discussions.
Sure.
We have to have a ongoing discussion with these people, with our community, so concrete results can follow.
Anything short of that, we are only spinning our wheels, and we're going to continue to have these situations every 30 years.
All right, Taft Thompson and Chaplain Rich Stoglin, thank both of you for taking part in this conversation.
Thank you.